Good day to you, fellow students and colleague, and welcome to the world of the history of mathematics. My name is Jeffrey Cornfield, and I am a math teacher at a high school in Ohio. And this is my project, my final project for our education class 522 from Ashland University, and where we had to design and create a web page that would integrate technology and incorporate standards and something that came from the mathematical standards. So my topic I chose was the history of mathematics, a very fun and an educational section that my students have found to enjoy over the years. As you can see here, I do have quite a wicked sense of humor. This is coordinated, of course, as I tell them as we go through. There are things that we don't have enough time to cover in the course of the year, so we go through this at a quick pace. And I actually found this project interesting to begin with because I love history, I love mathematics, and to talk about this and find it in the standards was a fascinating thing. And then to have the opportunity to put it all online started giving me more creative ideas of things I want to do in the future. You may be a mathematician, you may not, but these are the four faces of the greatest mathematicians of all time. Carl Friedrich Gauss right there, Sir Isaac Newton, Archimedes, my favorite, and Leonard Euler. And they are on Math Rushmore. So let's go through my web page for you to try to give you an overview of what to expect and what's going to happen here. The first section is the introduction, telling the students what they are to expect throughout the course. And these portions right here are going to be the same on every single web page, or on every single page in this unit. What they are going to have to do is they're going to have to watch videos, watch some lectures, and electronically fill out the student notes and then send those to me so I can grade those electronically. They're going to have to take a quiz at the end of each section to make sure that they're understanding what's going on. There is a creative project that integrates with real-world applications, the things that they're talking about in the history of math with something that happens in real life. Then I have them going to Edmodo and doing a poll at the end of each section. They do a poll, and basically it's a very quick, simple survey. Do you enjoy covering this, or what did you find interesting? Reminding them of upcoming dates and events. The Remind 101 website, I found it absolutely beneficial for my students, especially in our current technological era. They use it quite frequently in my algebra classes, and for an Algebra 3 course of this setting in the high school, which would consist of juniors and seniors, this is perfect. They don't have to write down anything in their syllabus or anything in their agendas. They can just get the text every day, and it will tell them what they have to do. And then I've also designed a webspiration where they will go out. I've given them a basic format of a concept map, and then I want them to all incorporate new ideas. As they go through, I want them to tack on more things of what they think is going on in the history of math. So each person can make their own little bubble on our webspiration, and then we would take a look at it together and have a piece of art for the future generations to look at, and they could say, oh, well, they saw something differently. So this would be a great project to do a longitudinal study on. The 7 sections that they will cover in the history of math are the early civilization mathematics and the origins of math. There will be a student notes, a quiz, and a project for there. Greek mathematics, with the cult of Pythagoras being one of the headlines there. Alexandrian math and Archimedes, my favorite mathematician. And if you don't know about Archimedes and you are interested, he designed calculus 1800 years before Sir Isaac Newton got to it with Leibniz. Section 4 is the Roman, Arabian, and Middle Ages mathematics, what had happened during the fall of the Roman Empire. Not much occurs during this time frame. It's more applications of math, which gives the students a hands-on approach to this, and they will be seeing how things are actually applicable from real-life scenarios. The Renaissance math, once we've come out of the Dark Ages, we go into the Age of Enlightenment and the Inquisition from the Catholic Church. We discuss what happens there and how innovative thoughts are trying to be put down, but humankind is pushing back to keep learning. And then we get into our modern mathematical marvels, how math is driving the new generations and how we don't have any idea of what's going to happen into the future. And everything from calculus being invented all the way up to the invention of the iPod, iPad, and everything that Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak could come up with at Apple, Bill Gates over at Microsoft. So it's a very broad spectrum unit. It covers the entire history of math, and then it's open-ended. I mean, we're going to be changing this as we go day to day, and I mean, year to year, things will be added and edited and adjusted as we go through, and this is a great opportunity to do that. The final thing they do is the autobiographical mathematician paper and exam. So that's the end of the first section. Now, as I had said earlier, each section is set up very similarly. They can read through this. They'll go on and watch the Dropbox lessons. If you don't know what Dropbox is, let me just click on that to show you. You can sign in. I give them the sign-in information. It's a universal system for my students. They use my email address and a password, math141, and they can just click in here. It's a free system, and the more people you get to sign up for Dropbox, the more space they give you to store it. It's kind of like a cloud. There are several things I use in here. Here are my Common Core standards I used for this website. A music video that if you want your ears to bleed, you can listen to that I designed. But in the Algebra 3 setting for my students, they would come here, and these are all of my lessons recorded. So they can go down and listen to Chapter 14, The History of Math. It's 11 days worth of lessons. So let's go back to the web page and see what's going on. So they'll watch the Dropbox lesson for 14.1 to 14.4. There are student notes to aid them in their understanding down here at the bottom. They can download those and send them to me in an email. I give them the instructions how. They'll send them back to me so I can make sure that they're learning. Then they'll take a quiz and they'll do a project. Both of those web pages are here at the bottom. Again, as I had mentioned previously, the Edmodo log-on. They can log on to Edmodo with their account and do a poll that I would send them for each of the different sections, and then they just fill them out and have a fill-out date by so we could all see what everyone else is thinking. The remind email, they can get a reminder of what the homework is going to be, and then the webspiration, the concept mapping. Now the quiz pages, here is the early math quiz, are all set up similarly. Each section has a short quiz, where if they click on it, I did a SurveyMonkey quiz, and you can go back and what did they base the power off of? Let's see, who was that? It was the Babylonian numbering system. It was called cuneiform. They can go to the next one, base it off of Power 60, and then they can say they're done with the quiz. And it will send it over to SurveyMonkey, and then I can gather the information and take a look and see how they had done. Very short, very formative, just to cover their basis, to make sure that they picked up the general information of what I need them to understand from here. If I go back to my early civilization mathematics page and come down to the bottom, the project side of it is where it started to get interesting and fascinating, to try to make the students not only think about the history of math, but then the technological aspect. How could I get them online to do things? So for each of these, I gave them a YouTube video that I want them to go watch to kind of aid them in assisting. Some of them are longer than others, but I tell them they can jump around. They don't have to watch the whole thing. There are different portions of it, and they can fast forward to different parts of the history of math. And for this one, for the early civilizations project, they're going to be creating a booker, which is a photo book. I was trying to think, how could I get them to incorporate? This is a wonderful tool that I've seen for our class. They can create a booker and make a photo book about one of their favorite civilizations, one of the ancient civilizations that they wanted to, Egyptian, Babylonian, Peruvian, Mayan, or Chinese. So they sit here and design one. I give them a rubric at the bottom of what I'm expecting for the grades. They send it to me either Google Docs or an email, and I give them the opportunity for extra credit. So they have to cover not only what was society like for these people and incorporate pictures, but also what did they contribute mathematically, and where does this apply to today? So they have to do research in addition to, okay, I've learned this information in a traditional classroom setting, not so traditional because it's all online. But I've learned this information. Now where is it going to happen out there? That's what the projects are. It's kind of a hybrid system. They get the traditional, if you will, textbook learning, but then they also have this, okay, this is what's happening. Now how can I embed this and use it in my real life scenario? Each one of these sections you can go through at your convenience. I have an overview page for them. At the bottom, there's the quiz on the one side, the SurveyMonkey quiz, and then each one of these has a unique project, something a little bit different. For here, on the Greek mathematics, the students have to create a music video, a karaoke music video, so they'll have to sing along with it. They use Screencast-O-Matic to record this, upload their videos to YouTube, and we'll all watch them. And as I had said before, here's my version of a Beach Boys Kokomo, and it's about the applications of math. I won't expect you to listen to that. Your ears would bleed, and that's just horrid. I would never want to do that to a colleague. So they can go through each of these sections. The first 6, 1 through 6, are all the important information. This is going to cover the history of math. Section 7 is where I wanted them to give me their history. I want to know what did they do. So they're going to create a document of either Microsoft Word or Google Docs or MacBook Pages for those of you who are an Apple fan. They're going to create a paper, and they're going to go through and type out all this information. And I give them a rubric at the bottom of that so they know what I'm expecting them. I want to see where's their mathematical background and where do they think it's going to go into the future. Here's my summative assessments that they can download, and they can go to the web page, download the summative assessment, and take it at their convenience. The nice thing is, with all of this, the students can go at their own pace. Several in the past have said, well, gee, it would be really nice if I could jump around. I don't really want to study about the early civilizations now. I'd like to go study Archimedes. My man, my favorite. So now they can go to section 3 at their own pace, go through Archimedes, and make an Archimedean screw and upload the video that they have to do. Take a look at that one. That's one of my favorites. It's a great opportunity for these students to jump around and get to know the history of math and make a very positive relationship with it. Section 8 is more for you as the reviewer. These, all the standards that need to be in there, the new Learning Math Core standards, I put a document there so you can look at what standards are met in this. The NET student and teacher standards are also incorporated, as are the P21 standards. You can look at that at your convenience, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And then I put a peer review for you, a SurveyMonkey, and you can go out there, and if you could just take the time to go through this and give me some feedback, what you think was good, what you think needs some improvement, any positive criticisms that you could give me would be greatly appreciated. So, that is the history of mathematics, quantitated, as I like to tell my kids. It's based off of what I feel is relevant to them. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you found it important, and you can use it in your future classes maybe. Maybe find some way to hybrid as I did. So thanks very much, and have a great day.